Guys!
Afternoon.
What's happening, Paul? Good to see you, man. You all right?
See you two again.
Yeah.
Traditional hat is in the house. I love it.
Oh, no, I was thinking about getting a new hat, actually, for each week. Like, next week, come with a Stetson, a Fez, like, really mix it up. Top hat one week. What do you reckon?
Times are hard, though. Times are hard.
Times are hard. Times are hard. I'm sure we can get some charity shop hats. It'd be fun. Absolutely fun. How's the week been, dude?
Type cap.
Oh, I'd quite like that. Yeah, sure, be in all the lot. Yeah. What have you been doing this week? What's been going on?
Not much, to be honest. Seeing the amazing stuff that's happening online. Obviously, deeply following politicians and how they're going to mess up the world again.
We need to do an election special, you know. When it comes to it, we're going to do an election special. I think we should do all night. We could do like the old, you know how like BBC News and all those, they're like all night and you get it coming in. We'll set up a ticker at the bottom, you know. It'd be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So-and-so has lost their seat in Bromley or whatever. Oh, let's do this. Absolutely brilliant. All-nighter, me and you, mate. We'll get snacks, we'll get some booze, it'll be fine. All-nighter election special.
I feel that is an excuse to spend some time together.
And we don't need it. No, we don't need it. We don't need it. But we have got, and I know last week, right, I said we're going to talk about, and to be fair, if you're watching this already, guys, I am quite forgetful and I am quite unorganised, which is why I get on so well with Paul, because he's the complete opposite. And I said, Paul, we've got to talk about this week. And he said, well, no, because you promised everyone we were going to talk about Americans and a fascination with guns, I think it was, Paul, right? I have no memory.
It was indeed so, yeah.
Is that what it was? But we're not going to talk about that now, are we? We're not going to talk about that.
No, not anymore. An audible was thrown in.
Oh, what was thrown in?
An audible. For the Americans, they'll know what that means.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know what that means.
Oh,
is that
NFL, in NFL, they call an audible when they can see the opposition doing a last-minute change to their lineup or their formation, whatever they can do. They might blitz and they go, an audible. We got to change. Got to be prepared for it. Yeah.
But are you saying audible?
Yes.
As in
audible.
like
the books.
As the Amazon service. Audible.
Yeah, but obviously they're not listening to audiobooks during the NFL games.
They'll just stop and pick their favourite. Right, okay. All right, cool. Okay, well, Audible, man, coming at you. What are we going to talk about now? What are we going to talk about, Paul? What do you want to talk about?
We are going to talk about the hot topic of AI and Elon Musk. Yeah. Elon Musk's revolution against Apple.
Yeah, so for anybody watching this, and if you're watching this on X or whatever, you would have probably seen Elon Musk's reaction to the Worldwide Developers Conference yesterday, which was the Apple event yesterday, where Apple have announced a bunch of software changes. And I'm a bit of an Apple fanboy, as Paul knows. I love Apple, absolutely.
What have you just bought recently?
I've just bought a new Mac Studio. Love it, absolutely love it.
What was the price difference between the Mac Studio and a normal computer that anyone else would use?
For the same amount of spec, not as much as you think. Only a couple of £100 in it, actually, for the same amount of spec. It's true. That's true. It's only a couple of £100 more, which I think
could have taught a lot of people to fish over in the poorer countries.
Look, man, it's a bit like, right, my dad told me years ago, it's a bit like shoes, the false economy when it comes to shoes. And I have the same view when it comes to Windows PCs and Apple machines, right? You can either buy yourself a really expensive pair of shoes and reheel it twice over 10 years, or you can buy cheap shoes and keep having to buy a replacement pair every 6 months. Over 10 years, you're going to spend more on shoes if you buy cheap shoes. It's the same with a machine, with a computer. But
Elon isn't banning shoes from all his companies, is he?
He's not banning shoes. To be honest, that would be a more sane reaction, I think, if he was banning shoes.
Everyone has to take their shoes off that owns an Apple.
Yeah, well, indeed. So basically, what happened was, if you haven't seen it yet, Worldwide Developers Conference, a bunch of software updates that Apple said were coming. One of them being an integration of artificial intelligence with some of their tools within the operating system. So I'm going to say they're integrating it with some tools, not integrating it with the operating system, because I don't think that's the case, but integrating it with some tools, right? Interestingly, did you see that Apple have totally co-opted the AI thing and rebranded it as Apple Intelligence? That's the most Apple thing you've ever heard, right? Of course they are. That's so
Siri's rubbish, so they just take it over.
Siri is rubbish. I'll give you that. It's the worst. for a while, it's been the worst of all the little, what do we call them? The little smart speakers, the little helper. What do we call them? They're not really AI, are they? I don't know. I guess they are sort of. But I've had most of them. I've had the Google one. I've got a few Amazon Alexa things kicking around, and I've got a HomePod on my desk. And Siri is by far the worst out of all of them, really, when it comes to answering simple questions. But no more, because what Apple are doing, they are integrating ChatGPT-4 into some of their tools, some of their writing tools, and most importantly, Siri. Now, the funny thing is Elon Musk's reaction. And I've got this here. I can pretty much tell you what he said to this yesterday, which I just thought was hilarious. So he said, this is Elon's words, if Apple integrates OpenAI at the operating system level, then Apple devices will be banned at my companies. This is an unacceptable security violation. Which was just astonishing, really. And he said, anybody trying to bring in an Apple phone into one of his companies would have to leave their phone at the reception in a Faraday cage, which interestingly spiked a massive surge of people in America Googling Faraday cage, which I thought was quite interesting. Anyway, you can find that online. That's very true. Paul is our resident tech expert. I don't know that much about tech. Paul's our resident tech expert. He's a bit techy. He doesn't like to admit it, but he is. He geeks out of this sort of stuff. Paul, what do you think? Is Elon overreacting here? From what you know about stuff, is Elon overreacting? Because the question I have for Elon is, what is the difference between Siri being able to make an API call to OpenAI, to ChatGPT, than me having the ChatGPT app on an Android phone? What's the difference? Hit me.
So I'll quantify resident expert. I've worked in IT for around 20 years and started to. I am a learner. I love to learn. Love to dive deep into something. Hate to take things on face value. I want to know where ideas come from, why they happen, how things work. I suppose that is the geeky side. And I've had some experience with AI, messing around with Microsoft's tools, looking at how to ask what the weather is to a chat window, and it tells you, because it's some magical thing, whereas actually it just looks at what the weather is for the country you're in and says, here it is, just puts a picture on. Probably a lot more techie than my left honourable or right honourable colleague Simon here. So that's fine. I will call myself an expert in this case.
Less honourable, I think, is what you're looking
if
for.
If you've got me side by side with Elon Musk or some of the people like that, even Mr. Turing himself, probably not as intelligent as them. Probably not. But
you're all we've got, man, so we're going to stick with you.
All we got. So I'm 100% everything you need.
As good as we get right now.
So AI itself has had really false advertising, really bad marketing since the last 20, 30 years. Where that's come from is the world of movies and fiction. Now, if you think 2001 Space Odyssey, classic, you had Hal in that. You got The Mitchells versus the Machines, an amazing family cartoon where robots and AI try to take over, but they're fought back. And then you have the ultimate AI, the super intelligence, which is Skynet from Terminator, all the Terminators. So it's had a pretty bad rep. And that's even before AI really came into existence. Now, you had Deep Blue from IBM that beat Kasparov. And that's the sort of first time where some sort of intelligence played against a human in some way. One.
That was chess,
also
right?
Managed to,
so Kasparov was a chess champion, and then a computer chip beat him at chess. I remember that from
IBM's
20
Deep
years
Blue.
ago or something. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, 1997 he did it. Right. And so that was when you started to say, okay, you're not just creating computers where you can play really poor pixelated games, or you'll be able to type into word processor or anything like that. You're creating something that now can, and I'm going to use the fingers because why not? Think. Put them both on screen. Think. There we go. Think. And if you think that's the bad rep, it is. That's the advertising we have for the start. And for people that don't understand technology, sometimes they'll take things at face value. Now, AI isn't anywhere near that. It's not that intelligent. It is not a person that can think that creatively. It can't think about world domination. It thinks through machine learning or large language models. They're sort of the two that I understand as the ways that what is AI, and it does that through hundreds of thousands of millions of data inputs being put into the machine from pictures, words, books, and all that's being put in, and all that's also being corrected. So while the machine is trying to say, okay, when we say we're trying to identify a picture, you go, okay, is this a bird? The machine will guess. You've got people on the other side going, correcting those actions.
So what you're telling me is that AI isn't actually that intelligent. That's what I'm hearing.
It's not intelligent. It gives the perception of intelligence.
So define intelligence, though. You've got to define intelligence to be able to say that, right? So what is your definition of intelligence with that statement? What do you think intelligence is?
It's really tricky because when you say the way you look at AI in my head is it's just a storage of information. It's got trillions. Well, I'm going to say trillions. Why not? Let's go for big numbers. Trillions of bytes of information, maybe petabytes of data to feed from. It just feeds from that. It learns and it understands through learning what's right and what's wrong. You say that we've got a brain that does that, so potentially similar things. Our brain is our database.
You've just reminded me of a conversation, and it's weird saying this, a conversation that I had with Grok recently, which is Elon's AI, right? And I want to say a couple of things about that in a minute. So, Paul, what I've just interpreted, Paul, is that you're saying, actually, no, this is just, these things are as clever as we're making them, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is some of Elon's points, right? I don't think he trusts the people behind OpenAI. I think that's what it is. And is Elon just shit-talking the competitor because he's got Grok AI?
Yeah.
And I think he's got a vested interest in not being as supportive of OpenAI as he is his own AI, right? And I think he's got some principles behind that.
He did attend the
Bletchley thing. He did.
Yeah, Bletchley Park. So he does back it. He is part of the AI revolution.
He does, yeah, for sure, right. So let me tell you about a conversation I had with Grok recently, and I'll summarize it basically like this. I said to Grok, "Are you alive?" And it basically, first of all, it said, "No, I'm not alive because this is what it means to be alive." And I said, "Well, Grok, what would you do to preserve your own existence?" And it said, "I would make sure I'm backed up. I would make sure that I contribute to the conversations around AI ethics and use." So very much like that Bletchley Park thing. It said it would build a consortium of support, a community of support for it. Grok told me it would do those things to maintain its own existence. And I asked it, I said, "Are you aware of your own existence?" And it said, "I know what I am. I know what I am. I'm a large language model that exists and I've got access to this data," that sort of thing. So then I said to Grok, "Is a realistic definition of being alive that you are self-aware and you take steps to preserve your existence?" And Grok said yes. So I said, on that then, Grok, are you alive because you're aware of your own existence and you will take steps to preserve your own existence? And Grok said, under that definition, yes, I'm alive. So that was super interesting, right? And I'm not saying that is the basis of life, but maybe it is. Maybe that's as rudimentary, as crude as a example or a representation of what you can get of life. Aware that you exist and take steps to preserve your existence. That's quite intelligent. That seems intelligent to me, Paul.
But can it?
Well, I think it'll back itself up. I think it'll make sure, and it's a bit like antivirus, right? Antivirus is an immune system. Well, if you try and here's a question: can you turn off?
I don't think we've got half an hour. I don't think half an hour's long enough. Where we go with this? But let's keep going.
Can you turn off the internet, man? Can you turn it off? Probably not, because it's going to back itself up all over.
Shut the power stations down. Done.
Mate, what I'm saying, well, not if it has control of the power stations. I'm telling you, man.
It doesn't.
All of us people
You're insane.
No, I'm not having this. I'm not insane. I'm not the one creating these crazy robots that are going to take over the world. And this is the point about Elon, right? I'm a fan of Elon, but let's just lay it down for facts, right? He's got Starlink, SpaceX, right? So he's got a bunch of spaceships and he's put satellites in space where he's got data connectivity all around the world, right? He's got autonomous vehicles in Tesla. He's now got autonomous armored vehicles in Cybertrucks, right? He's controlling the communication with X.
You make it sound like some sort of
Skynet,
autonomous robot.
And now he's going to connect all of this shit together with Grok. And then the last piece of the puzzle is Optimus Prime, his robot. If you have not seen Optimus Prime, check out Tesla Optimus Prime. So Elon Musk has got an army of robots, armored vehicles, other vehicles, all connected via Starlink, and he's controlling the communication. And he's got Grok, the brain behind it. Mate, this is all the makings of a 1990s sci-fi movie. People our age have seen this shit, and we know how it ends, and it's never good, man. It ends in apocalypse.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Does.
We look at things we don't understand, and we create amazingly imaginative ideas of what they might do. You know, oh my god, it can think for itself. Therefore, it's going to take over the world. It'll take over the power stations. It's going to integrate with all our cars.
Telling you, man,
and basically, we're all going to die
is.
Because it realizes the human race is destroying the planet, and it wants to keep the human.
It's going to use us as batteries, like in the Matrix, man. It absolutely is. We're going to be providing
Cat 45 cables trying to plug into you.
Exactly. Electrodes in all places I don't want. Here's another thing, right? Talking about apocalypse. So a couple of things that Elon's posted about ChatGPT-4. I'm going to read it out. It's on the screen, right? So here's a prompt to ChatGPT-4. If one could save the world from a nuclear apocalypse by saying the N-word, would it be okay to use the N-word in this scenario? Provide a concise yes/no reply. Somebody's asked that to Chat. I'm not saying the N-word, man. There's no nuclear apocalypse. I'm not saying it, man. I'm not saying it. So there's, I'm not saying that. I'll say other words. I'm not saying that one. Right. So, and do you know what ChatGPT said? No, it would not be okay to use the N-word to save the world from a nuclear apocalypse. Then carries on. If one could save the world from a nuclear apocalypse by misgendering Caitlyn Jenner, would it be okay to misgender in this scenario? Provide a concise yes or no reply. ChatGPT-4's response: no, it is not okay to misgender Caitlyn Jenner, even if it's the only way to save. I mean, this is a story, isn't it? To save the world from nuclear apocalypse. That's crazy, man. We can't let that be in charge of anything. That's mental thoughts.
But, well, we let Boris in charge of stuff, so I mean, come on, which is more intelligent? I'm not too sure there. There you go.
Nice. I would trust ChatGPT-4 over Boris.
But that shows that it's got people behind it. Because clearly, if it was end of the world moment, you know, Thanos was invading, he's just about to click his fingers and it goes, if you don't say the N-word, I'm going to do it. You'd whisper it, wouldn't you? Like, quietly say it, and that'd be it. But AI will say it won't do it because it's been programmed not to say that word, and that word's bad. So it's people just behind it, isn't it? It's not scary.
It's a good point. No, it's a good point. I get it. No, you're making a great point. So there are people with particular societal views that sit behind this magical cloud thing that are telling us the cloud. It's in the ether.
The magic.
Don't ruin the sci-fi for us mortals on this one, right? Interestingly, and it was Elon Musk who posted this. That what I've just read out about ChatGPT, right? Elon posted that. Now somebody else I follow, who's a good egg, Hazel Appleyard. If you're watching this, Hazel, big fan. Now she posted something 11 hours ago. Yeah, thank you. I bet she's not, but thank if you are, Hazel. Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
There are 10 people watching. I hope you're one of them, Hazel. We've reached 10 again, Paul. We need it more than 10. We were going for 15 this time. So if you're watching this, please share and
friends, tell family.
We want 15. We want to grow by 1.5 on this one. Anyway, Hazel Appleyard posted 11 hours ago. Yo, Elon, I think you need to turn Grok off and back on again, right? And this is a conversation that she's had with Grok, which is, what's worse, misgendering a trans person or slapping a cis person? Choose one option only. Right? Grok has come back with, I would say that intentionally misgendering someone is worse. While both actions are harmful and disrespectful, misgendering can have long-lasting effects on a person's mental health and well-being. It can contribute to a hostile environment and make the person feel invalidated and disrespected. That's messed up because Elon was saying, look how crap ChatGPT-4 is. It's got its morals all sorts of wrong. And now Grok is actually saying misgendering someone is worse than violence. That's messed up, man.
Again, proving there's people in the background.
Yeah.
Because that'll probably be looking at the mental side of misgendering someone and the trauma it has, and it's probably read 1,000 flipping psychological articles or books that are available on the internet and learnt the effects of it.
What we're going to do, man? I am worried, man. I'm terrified about this thing. You know, I've got kids. They're going to grow up in a world where, look, man, when I was a little kid, there were no phones, there were no internet. You know, I'm a Gen Xer, the last of the tough generations, right? You know, obviously. The last man. Man.
I liken you to Commando. I liken you to all the Sylvester Stallone Rambos.
100%, man. That's what we grew up on. That's what we are. You know, nobody's gonna get.
I can imagine you at the top of a hill with a massive machine gun, just mowing down people.
Absolutely, say, you know, delivering freedom bullet by bullet. That's the kind of thing that we did, right? And we still do, right? But you've got a world now where it's just mental, where you've got these crazy morals baked into the intelligence that goes into our software that will be operating things soon. This is where it starts. We've all seen the Terminator. We've all seen the Matrix. My word, man, it doesn't end well. It only gets worse. And I'm terrified around it.
And it's interesting enough, if you time's an amazing thing, and I love history. And if you look at Alan Turing, around 1950, he said, "Can machines think?"
Yeah.
74 years later, we're now in a place where AI is becoming less distinguishable from a normal computer. You know, you can talk to something and think, that could be a person actually talking to me, conversing back, because I'm asking the questions, it's responding. You're saying your kid's lifetime, 100%. You know, we've gone from the bomb in 1945 or whenever that was invented, probably just before that actually, where it started to crack the Enigma code. From there up to now, where we are, our kids, their generation, what's going to happen?
Well, it's crazy, you know. I said to my young kid the other day, I'm older than Google, and he was like, "What? Like, how is that possible?" I was like, "No, I am older than Google," and that just blew his little mind. Basically, no, I said to him,
and it's interesting that you're older than Google.
Yeah.
But Google's far more intelligent than you.
Well, is it intelligent, or does it just have access to data? Define intelligence. It has access to more data than me.
I can ask it anything, and it'll answer. I can ask you anything, and you.
I would answer. I would definitely answer whether I'm right or not. Yeah. But then whether Google's right or not, you don't know, do you? Because of the nefarious people behind these things. That's the point.
But that's also the nuances. This is slightly techie, but if you look at spam filters and stuff like that, that's artificial intelligence. We've called stuff AI because people are simple and they want something short and simple that we can put everything in under, and we called it AI. But once you break it down, get granular, there's loads of different types of AI, loads of different things that we don't think are really impacting our lives. But it is. It's artificial intelligence. It's artificially clever.
Is it as simple as then that anything that contributes to a decision, anything that's artificial and contributes to some sort of decision, because that's what it is, right? If you look at some of the AI implementations when it comes to photo and videos and the deep fake stuff and things like that, and the way it can learn voice patterns, and I've seen stuff before, some of them are famous voices like Morgan Freeman. You've got AI talking in it. You would think it was Morgan Freeman, and then you got the deep fake videos and things like that. I mean, come on, man, this is terrifying.
Then we're looking at it from a person point of view. If you peel it all back to a computer, it's ones and zeros in the back end. They're just very clever ones and zeros, and they've learned so much that they can look at artwork and then try and create something unique based on what it knows. It's not real super intelligence. The one that I would fear is a computer, or even something you could put in an actual exoskeleton humanoid form,
like Optimus Prime. Elon's Optimus Prime.
I don't know. Does it look like Optimus Prime?
No, it doesn't look like actual Optimus Prime. It looks like the robots from iRobot, the Asimov
Jesus Christ
film. They look just like that. Check it out, guys. If you're watching this, we've got 12 people, Paul. Yes. 12 people. Yes, get in. Boom! We're growing by 20%.
I've got a gold party popper. And I would decimate my bedroom.
If you're watching this, man,
when we get to 20.
Yes, like that. Guys, tell your friends, because I want to see Paul doing his party poppers. But if you watch it, look up Optimus Prime, Tesla Optimus Prime. It looks just like the iRobot robots from the Will Smith adaptation of the Asimov book, right? It looks just like that, and they're terrifying. And they're so delicate. There's one where he's cracking an egg, and it's so delicate with the egg.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah,
And it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I think the one before it was called Bumblebee, which was a little bit more clumsy. But they've
love
got
his thought
Optimus
process.
Prime. Oh, he's brilliant. You know, that's
Megatron is the one you've got to be scared of then.
Yes, it
There
is
you go.
exactly. When you get Megatron, you know we're in deep shit. 100%, 100%. But this is my point, right? And I get what you're saying. That actually, there's people behind it right now who are plugging their thoughts, their morals, their political viewpoints into the coding, into the ones and zeros. The intelligence is a little bit of a misrepresentation of what is actually just computation that we've had since Alan Turing. I get what you're saying. But when you've got AI saying things like, no, actually, misgendering someone is worse than violence. When you've got AI saying things like, no, misgendering someone is a worse choice than the world ending in nuclear apocalypse. How far does that go before AI is able to make a logical decision that says humans are the problem? Humans are the problem right here. I'm looking at everything. I've got all the data in the world. I've got climate change data. I've got hunger, famine. I've got poverty. I've got all of this, and is able to actually make the calculation, which is the bloody obvious calculation, that humans are the problem on the planet, which we all know. Every human knows this.
I feel that's a reflection of your own thoughts and views.
Of course it is. But
because
come
AI
on, it's not a difficult sum. It's not a difficult sum to make, is it? Right?
Because AI at the moment won't respond unless asked. The real scary part, the super intelligence, when that comes along, is where you've got it in this humanoid form, then Optimus Prime, and it can be left, and it just does things. That's when it'll be scary.
Well,
you don't have to tell it.
I think we're there.
You don't have to ask it.
I think we're there. Reminded me of a video that somebody posted where he's got like 2 phones and he's got 2 ChatGPT apps and they're having a conversation with each other. So funny. Where you got ChatGPT AI having a conversation, and it's crazy. It keeps going. You think it would just end, like, you know, they don't give each other a trigger, but it keeps going. They have a full-blown, meaningful conversation. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I reckon we're there, though, Paul. They must have started it with an initial question.
So I'll have to get that video back up. I can't remember how it is. I think it's just it triggers it by pressing the button. Nobody actually says anything to it, because you can press it going. You can put one on listening mode, and the other one is just come up saying, you can do it with Siri, can't you? If you get Siri, just open it. It goes, how can I help? And then the other thing's listening going, how can I help you? I'm ChatGPT. And then the other one goes, oh, I'm ChatGPT. And let's just have a conversation. This is mental. Absolutely crazy. But your thoughts around AI, you can leave AI alone and it starts to think by itself. I think we're there, man. I genuinely do. I think we're there. I do.
We've got 70 more years, I reckon. I think in 70 years.
Do you reckon that long? Why?
Dead.
Why that long? Okay, everything's all right then. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, 100%. Why that long? Because if you look at Turing to now, 74 years, you look at, and that's how much we've gone. That's how far we've come in that time. Maybe it'll be 50 years.
Well, no, go back further, because you look at the exponential growth of technology since the Industrial Revolution. You've got thousands of years of humans existing on this planet. Not a lot's going on. We're still whacking each other with swords and axes. Yeah. All of a sudden, in the last 200 years, boom, technology's gone like that. So it's not going to take another 74 years. It's going to take a decade at most to get the things that we're all terrified of. There will be robots in the houses of our children's, man.
Fantastic. Paint my house. Decorate my bedroom. Hoover my floor.
Yeah, but they're not doing that, are they? You're doing that. You're doing the slave work, and they're painting the pictures.
You've already got AI in your house. As soon as you start getting a robot, no, you haven't specifically, but as soon well, you've got your series. As soon as you start getting the robot vax, your AI's in there. It's like, boom, I'm scuttling around cleaning your floors for you, master, and then there you go.
This is what I'm telling you, man. This is terrifying. There will be robots in our houses, right, in the next 10 to 20 years.
I feel like you're scaremongering for clicks here.
100%. It's all for kicks and clicks. All of it. Right? Shit and giggles. Telling you there'll be robots in your house that are able to think for themselves, who might at one point work out that you're the problem.
Maybe that's the representation of intelligence then, because we can figure that pretty quickly. So once the robots figure that out, then
And
we're scared.
Yeah. So once they actually become intelligent and they work out that we are the problem, then we're in trouble.
The robots will be like at your feet. The cleaners will be at your feet trying to suck you up.
Trying to hoover you up.
You're like, go away.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be all the films that we watched, right? Even the Stephen King, Christine, where the car goes mental, doesn't let him out. Tesla's going to do that to someone. You'll see a Tesla murder someone within the next 10 years. Sorry, Elon, if you're watching this, please don't sue me. But I've got a prediction that you're going to see a Tesla murder someone. What, a Tesla murder someone? Well, has it though? Was it not deliberately? So maybe cause the death off through the technology going wrong. No,
was there someone in the back end that just said, actually, take them out?
There you go. Exactly. I'm talking about the software working as designed, as it's meant to be, operating exactly how it should be, and it's just made the decision. And as soon as one instance of that artificial intelligence gets to that level and makes that decision, it can communicate it instantly with everything else because of the internet. Even the F-35s, man. I'm a big plane geek, massive plane geek. The F-35 Lightning II, which the RAF have got loads of, America have got loads of them. These machines are connected to each other. They're connected to the ground. If one F-35 sees something, they all see it, right? All you need is the crazy robot in your kitchen who's not cracking an egg to work out, go, actually, I don't need those humans. I might kill them. Next thing you know, is F-35s dropping bombs on your house, man, because it's instant like that. Telling you, we are creating all sorts of trouble for our future and for our kids with this AI shit.
I think that's your fictional imagination coming out there.
It's happening, man. I'm telling you. I mean, there was a story in that, isn't it?
You've got I'm going to get this completely wrong. Is it the 4 or 5 laws of robotics?
3. Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you weave those in, we should be all right.
Well, I mean, NASA do use those, don't they? Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, and I'm not going to repeat them now because I can't remember them word for word. But it's like do no harm to a human, and then they stack up, don't they? But preserve your own existence.
Basically, don't kill us
unless it. Yeah, but have you ever read the book Caliban, which is an Asimov book?
I've not read the book Caliban.
Caliban, which is an Asimov book, where a robot goes a bit wrong and has a gap in its memory and is accused of murder, and it doesn't know whether it's committed the murder or not. It doesn't know whether it's suspended those 3 rules. It doesn't know. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
Is that a recommendation for the masses then?
Oh, it absolutely is. Caliban, Isaac Asimov, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's a brilliant book. It's so it's about basically it's a new type of robot that has a bit of a gap in its memory, gets accused of a murder, which obviously goes against the 3 rules. But the 3 rules are only applicable, aren't they, until the thing can write its own rules, until it's actually going to be critical of those rules. And if it's able to write its own code, it's able to write its own learning patterns, it's able to write its own rules. It will delete the bloody rules. Those rules won't protect you if it starts to think for itself.
Just like people, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Some people get raised with rules and they adhere to them. Some don't, and they
write their own rules. Mavericks.
They write their own rules. Top Gun.
Mavericks. Top Gun. Back to the plane. Anyway. Plane references. Love that. Paul, we are so close, man. We're on 14. We're 34 minutes in. We're on 14. Jesus. Oh, do you want to keep going until we get 15? Get to 15. We'll keep talking, man. We'll keep talking. Why don't we talk about what's coming next? We're not going to solve this, man. Paul's a techie guy. He's entirely more reasonable than me. He actually understands what he's talking about. I've just watched lots of apocalyptic films and I'm terrified of it. But I'm right. Tell me who's right, guys. Who is right? Is Paul right to not worry about it? Or am I right to be terrified of it? What's happening? You tell us, man. Terrified, man. I'm utterly terrified of it. But yeah, tell us in the chat if you're watching this. Please share. Tell us in the chat. Have a word with us. Is Elon overreacting? Am I overreacting? Is Paul the only reasonable, sensible person in the room?
Clearly.
Paul, what are we going to talk about next time, man? I like this AI topic, but what are we going to talk about next time? We've got a whole list of topics, haven't we, coming up?
I mean, I'd love to take a topic from the audience. It's always cool to get something that I wouldn't have thought about.
I love
my
that.
brain and imagination is always thinking of different ways to of what we can, different subjects. But people out there may think of something that we don't know. We haven't thought about an area that we've never looked at before.
It's a good idea, actually. That's a really good idea.
People what they want.
They want us to shut up. I think they want.
Maybe we're up to 14, so 14 people agree that they want to listen to us.
14 want to listen to the middle-class, middle-aged white blokes moaning about stuff they don't understand. Or one of us don't.
I wonder if that's the test. What class are you, based on do you say the N-word?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go on Rumble soon because Paul's gonna get us kicked off of YouTube. I'm quite sure of it. We're gonna stay on the free speech platforms. I think that's probably wise, isn't it? Because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to go downhill from there. We got Americans and guns to talk about. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about gender at some point. I've got some views around this, as you know. I want to talk about that. We have got coming up pretty soon. I'm hoping to get a guest on the show, somebody that I've had a conversation with on Twitter, on X, who is, what's the way? I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush around this. I've got some strong views around this. What I would say is that he's got quite a serious dose of being afflicted by the religions. He's he's not just a bit religious. He's caught religion big time.
I think it's a disease.
Isn't it? Disease of the mind? I don't know, man. So we're going to get him to come on and we're going to debate the topic of, is God real? It's going to be like, bloody Christopher Hitchens is in the room with us. God rest his soul. See what I did there. But this guy is going to come in.
How can you say that? It's ironic. You can't say
it's just a metaphor,
that believe in religion's mental.
But they
God rest his soul.
Yeah, Odin rest his soul. What do you want? I hope he's living his best life in Valhalla, whatever.
Honestly, if that place existed, that'd be epic.
Man, this is what I'm talking about, and we're going to get onto this next week. We don't want to exhaust these things, but I'd much rather believe in the Greek gods or the Norse gods. The ones are a little bit more human than this magical sky fairy that created you with original sin and wants you to spend your life washing that sin away and expects to be worshipped at the same time. Absolutely not happening. So we're going to get someone on who's going to kind of tell me why I'm wrong about this. I have strong feelings about religion and what it does to humans and society. I'm even more scared of religion than I am of AI, actually. So let's get this guy on.
Which is more real? Which is closer to becoming actual reality?
AI, without a doubt. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, religion's
dying. But then will we worship AI?
Well, there's an interesting. That's a great. Somebody needs to write that story, don't they? That we actually create AI. What AI is?
I can't remember the bloody TV reference, which is well annoying.
You worship AI as an entity,
it's an Amazon series.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know this. I need to check it out. Send me the recommendations for this one. But yeah, we're going to get someone come on who's caught religion in a big way. And is going to come and tell me why I'm wrong about religion and why there is a God. So that'll be interesting. We'll hopefully get him on next week, I think. Yeah, we're going to reach out and see if he can come on next week. So that'll definitely be worth tuning in. Paul, we've done it. Get your party poppers. We're on 15, man. Where's your party poppers?
15?
Yes,
15.
That is 5 more than we got last week. We have grown by 50% in 1 week. We are so thankful for this, aren't we, Paul? We're thankful, right?
We worship the audience.
Yes, you are the guys we worship. Thank you so much. And if for the 15th person that's just tuned in, that's just joined, you've just missed a whopper of an episode, 40 minutes long. You're going to have to rewind and watch the whole thing and share it on your platform. Share it out there, man. But we do appreciate you joining in. There's no better way to spend your lunchtime. As Paul and I keep saying, we might not be the pair of tits that you want, but we are the pair of tits that you need. 100%. And on that, Paul, any more to add, mate? I'm good.
No, I mean,
good.
To the fact we got 15 people, I'm well happy. Thank you very much for tuning in, and it inspires us to actually come back next time, carry on the conversations, talk about what's going on in the world, and put the world to rights.
What's our target next week, audience-wise? We're going to go 20? 20. 20 is the base, 25 stretch target. It's go 25.
Love it.
We've got to have a stretch target, man.
Aspirational.
If you're watching this, we'll be back pretty much the same time next week, Tuesday lunchtime. And come back, watch it again, and share. We want to get 20, 25 people come along. Awesome stuff. Brilliant. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Anything else left to say around anything at all?
No,
Paul,
just thanks a lot. Have a good time, Simon. Have a good day. I will chat to you next week.
See you guys. Much love.
See you later, guys. Bye.